Hey, peace. What's happening, everyone? On our deal with.
Ooh, yeah. Nah, nah, nah.
Suddenly there came a sound from heaven, as of a rushing mighty wind, like the rushing of a mighty wind, like the rushing of a mighty wind. Come and fill our hearts again, like the rushing of a mighty wind.
Yeah, blessings. Once again, you know the routine. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. All of that helps. So you don't know. Without any further ado, let's get started. Yeah, so you said when they look at what we've built over here, when you say we, who's the we you're talking about?
What they would call a foundational Black American.
You believe that y'all built America?
I wouldn't say y'all in a sense, because it wasn't just us. It was African people that came over here.
African people that came over here.
Yes, they built it on free labor.
You know, because in some sense...
Hold on, before you say that, because let me clear out what I'm saying. A lot of the times when you say slaves, it got a negative cognitive, like a negative perception on what I'm saying, but I'm gonna readdress what I just said. I'm not gonna say slaves. We were architects, we were scientists, we were teachers, we were builders, we were all these things. We just came in the form of a slave for free labor. That's all it was. We patented it. We built America. Look at the stoplights, the toilets, the cell phone, everything you want to name. That's what built America, which we did. We invented all this.
I mean, no, well, you know, I don't, that's not necessarily, I don't think of America as stoplights and stuff like that. I think...
No, I'm saying, but where did it really come from?
Where did what come from? America?
No, I'm saying, where did it really come from? Like these patents and shit. Somebody had to patent the toilet, and somebody had to idea about it. It was African people. We did that.
But not just y'all, though. Not just y'all, though.
Who do you think did it?
Built America?
No, I'm saying just did all these things which makes America today.
I think all Americans throughout history did that. You know what I'm saying? Like them white folks. Like, how can you say that the Africans that were slaves built it, but the slave masters didn't? Like, because anything, I think
we were considered as property at a point in time. So anything that
how do you as property build something that and the property owner didn't? That's like if I have you know, if I have a tractor and I'm making a farm and I use the tractor, are you saying the tractor is building the farm and not the farmer?
If you could listen to what I just answered your question, that's a good analogy, but not up to par to what I'm saying. If I built the tractor and the tractor knocked everything down that I need, then of course I built it, you know. But I'm saying like this. Look, if I built let's say if I built something and I was considered as a white man property, whatever I build is no longer mine. He stripped it from me because I'm his property. It's his now.
Especially if he told you to build it, or if he made you build it, and he told you what to do in the building process.
Some of the times it wasn't what they told us. It was just we already knew what to do.
All right, but the times when it was them telling you what to do, they get credit for building that, right?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's why patents are a lot of the shit that's patented in white people's name right now that you saying that helped build America wasn't necessarily built by them.
So any race of people that have patents and stuff can get credit for building America.
Depending on what period of time you're talking about.
Even today, why not today? If I create something useful today, like the like the internet, for example. The internet is a part of what America is today. Like the people who came up with the patents. Let me just finish. Let me just finish. The people that came up with the patents today for creating the internet, like, wouldn't they be part of the building of America as well?
Yes, everything is commerce. You know, America runs on commerce.
So anyone that has a patent, the same way you say y'all built it because you created all these patents, Black Americans aren't the only ones with patents. Every race in America has a patent for something. So wouldn't every race have...
I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but I'm talking about a specific point in time in history. I'm not talking about today and all that. I'm talking about what was already built and what was built back in those days. That's what I'm saying. At a point in time in history, we built a lot of the shit that's considered today to be useful, such as the toilet, such as the light bulb, such as all this shit is invented by Black people. The internet as well. An African guy invented all that.
I get that, but that doesn't take away from the fact that other people built other things during that time period as well. But during that time period, there were white, like a Black person may have invented the light bulb, but it was a white person that invented electricity. And if you're telling me the people that invented electricity wasn't going to invent...
That makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. That's what I just told you. A lot of us were, okay, if they made electricity, obviously we made the light bulb in order for it to work. But I'm saying, like...
So why don't they get credit for building electricity as part of building the country? How come the person that created electricity gets no credit, but the person that created a light bulb gets all the credit for building the country?
I get your analogy, but the analogy you're making has no source backed upon it. So you can't say the white man created electricity. Electricity is in the human body, so you can't say anybody invented that first.
Come on, man. Okay, they invented the electricity that's outside of the human body. What do you mean white people didn't build it? So who invented the electricity? Isn't it Thomas Edison or something like? Don't they credit Thomas Edison with that? He invented the what?
The light bulb.
I thought you just said a Black person invented the light bulb.
That's Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison is a Black man?
If you didn't know that, okay.
No, I didn't know that. You're going to have to source that as well.
Oh, no. Thomas Edison is not a Black person, but the person that invented the light bulb was basically Thomas Edison stole the patent for it. So that's basically...
He stole the patent?
Yeah.
Where you getting this from a Black guy? So it was a Black guy that invented... I mean...
Yeah. That's true.
I mean...
Look it up. Look it up on Google right now. I just looked it up.
Okay. But yeah, but you know, I'm still like, again, Black people aren't the only ones with patents, right?
I get that, but when you listen, if I enslave you right now and you just so happen to invent a fucking rocket ship that could fly all the way up fucking across the fucking galaxy, and I own you as property, and I'd be like, well, that's mine now because you're my property. Just based off of you being my property, that's mine. Whatever you invent is mine. So there's no argument on who invented what.
So you're saying slaves were just free to go out and invent whatever they wanted to invent?
If it was good for the slave master, yeah, they let them do shit like that.
Okay, and the slave, it wasn't the slave master that, like, what invention are you talking? Like during slavery time, what invention did Black people come up with?
I just gave you. During slavery?
Yeah,
it was plenty. Let me see. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I know it was plenty of them. I can't think of one on the top of my head.
Yeah. So when would you say America was done being built?
It's still not done being built, obviously. The infrastructure sucks.
Right. So, and are you saying that it's still only Black people that's doing the building, or do you think everybody that lives in America today is helping with the building?
I mean, the previously to what the infrastructure is right now, yeah, we built it.
I'm talking about given that it's still being built today, right?
Yeah, you talking about today?
Who's doing the today? You said it. We agree. America is still being built today.
No, but you're using a fallacy. You're not telling me exactly. You telling me exactly what you want me to hear. What you want to hear.
No, I asked you. I said, do you think America is done being built? And you said no, it's still being built today. And I asked you, who's building it today?
But I just gave you an answer. I said the infrastructure known today was basically built on top. So like they're building on top.
But who's doing the building today? You said they're building on top of it. Who's doing the building?
The immigrants. They're doing the building.
Immigrants and Black Americans and everybody, right?
Yeah, because America is basically trying to find a cheap route to build shit. So, for instance, when it was slavery, we was building shit because it was basically getting done for free. Now they got the immigrants doing that at a lower price.
Hold on, Dex. There weren't. I just want to go one step at a time. So we agree that the building of America that's going on today is being done by everyone. Now we're going back.
I said by immigrants. I never said by everyone.
So Black Americans aren't doing the building today?
I mean, let's be realistic. Yeah, everybody's playing a part in it, but for the majority of the part, yes, immigrants are the ones building America.
So you think immigrants are doing more of the building of America today than Black Americans are?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you think immigrants are more foundational today than Black Americans are?
See, that's a fallacy. You just asked me a question. You asked me a question that had nothing to do with my answer.
What you mean? You said immigrants are doing more to build America today.
Yeah, but
you said the reason y'all say Black Americans are foundational is because y'all built America.
I never said anything about foundational. You said that. I answered your question. I said that for the majority, immigrants are building this today. Then you just came and said something else that was a fallacy. Do you know what a fallacy is? A fallacy is when you taking my initial answer and you're putting a 20 on the 10 and saying that I said something else, and that's not what I'm saying.
Okay. Then I'm having a hard time following what you're saying then, because you seem to be going back and forth a little bit.
I said, yeah, everybody plays a part in building America, but the majority of people who are building America today are the immigrants.
Okay. And you're saying back in the day during slavery time, the majority of the people were slaves.
Exactly.
That were doing the building of America.
Yes, exactly.
So, but the minority people, the people that were just contractors and just regular people that were working a 9 to 5, the regular employees, like with the White House, for example, I would agree that there were some slaves working or helping. Let me finish. Let me finish. Like there were. Let me finish, Dex. Dex, let me finish. There were slaves helping to build the White House, but there were also just regular employees that were contracted to work and that were getting paid. So why aren't the minority of those people, why don't they also get credit for building America? Why is it just the slaves that get credit just because they were the majority?
No, it's not because they were the majority necessarily. Just like in today, like I said, the immigrants are the majority, and they're the majority that's building it. I don't say that. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're the only ones building it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the majority. When you got large amount of numbers of people doing one specific task, and you got a group here and a group there, the majority of people gonna get the job done quicker. So and they're gonna play a large part in getting the job done overall. So so for the majority part of it, yes, America was built by Black people.
Okay, but today the majority is built by non-Black people.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I mean, where do you live? You live in America, or?
Yeah. I live in America, absolutely.
Do you not see like all these immigrants like taking our jobs, our benefits, our resources, everything? Like, you don't see this, or?
Well, I'm an immigrant. I'm Jamaican.
Okay, I'm not specifically talking about a Jamaican immigrant. I'm talking about the Latin immigrants. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I think illegal immigration can be a strain on the economy. Sure, if that's what you mean, yeah, I think it can be a strain on the economy. So yeah, I do see where they can take work away from Americans. But I don't see where they're taking more jobs away from Americans than the jobs that Americans are keeping.
You live in a different region than I am in, and I can kind of tell, because basically, like, I live in California, so like we're what they would call a safe space for them or whatever. What do they call it? I forget the term, but basically, like, if you come to California, you could clearly see that they're taking all the resources, all the housing, everything. Like, it's literally Little Mexico in California, and like, basically, they're taking the place of the what people call the foundational Black American, which we built it previously to them, but they're just building on top of what we're building.
Okay. But if they're building America, what's the problem?
The problem, I just told you the problem. The problem is they're taking all the resources that we were, sitting on.
Like what type of resources? The jobs and stuff?
Yeah, because we're tax-paying citizens of the United States of America at the moment, So if we paying all these taxes and y'all taking all our resources, then we paying for y'all to be here, and y'all basically taking all the money, and you're working for money at a lower price, but you're still working for a capital, and you're taking all the resources, the housing, everything that a Black FBA would need, and they're capitalizing off of it while taking our money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it reminds me of the argument that was used against slavery. I think because I think that's what the employed workers were saying against slaves, because they were saying slaves don't pay taxes either, right? But their slave masters would use them, and they would take over job sites with just this really cheap, slave labor. Let me just finish. Like on job sites, slave masters would kind of monopolize the market by flooding the market with slave workers that were very cheap, and people who, white workers who were employed and were paid, they felt like their wages were being undermined by these slaves that were working for very cheap, not for free, because the slave masters had to get paid, but their fee was a lot cheaper. So the same way slaves were undercutting wages and taking jobs away from regular citizens back then is the same way that today it's kind of the same dynamics with immigrants, where immigrants are taking away work from citizens as well. And so if slaves did that and are considered foundational, why can't immigrants be considered foundational?
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. God spoke his words, they said he was deranged. Marley sung his songs, they said the same. Malcolm X and Martin Luther fought relentlessly so we could be better. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves.